Hello again, my friends. We're back with another episode of Let's Talk. Today, I wanted to discuss my memories on a game called Diablo 2. I want to encourage people to write about their own experiences in Diablo 2 because there's so many different experiences you can have in that game. And I'd love to hear what happened to you, what you enjoyed, what you liked. So yeah, let's jump into it. I'm he who is Seth. So Diablo 2. It's a hack and slash dungeon game, and it's the cream of the crop. It is absolutely everything that I've ever loved about that style of game. Just all in one, perfectly executed in my opinion. I want to talk about the sort of the leveling first. You start off, level 1 of course, and you start doing missions, and you feel somewhat powerful. Not too powerful though. There'll be certain circumstances where all of a sudden you face a group of monsters that would just take you down, and it made you feel like you were weak. But that was kind of fun because it made you feel strong as well when you were able to eventually power through. So you level up, and the really cool thing I always really appreciated about Diablo 2, which I recently played Grim Dawn, and Grim Dawn's a really good game, don't get me wrong, but the map system in Diablo 2, all connected, was all randomly generated as well, and I'm sure there was, certain copies of different ones that would replay sometimes, but you don't know which direction to go in other than following the road. But it's really cool how they did that. I love the random generation. I wanted to say that. You get to, higher levels, and I had a strategy eventually, and I would of course play online because that was super fun. And my strategy was I would level up a sorceress because it was kind of like, and I started playing really early, before Enigma and all that stuff. So if you want to teleport, you needed to make a sorceress. So I would level up a sorceress, and I would start running. I would do Mephisto runs in Hell once I got to a certain level, and there was a way that you could lure Mephisto over. You can still do this actually, and then you teleport over the little death flesh pool to one side, and he'd get trapped on the other side. Then you could sit at a range where he couldn't get you, and you could blast him with meteors or blizzards, whatever you wanted. I usually did meteors because I liked that he was just standing in the fire, and so you would just be able to farm Mephisto, and you'd get some good pieces of gear. So and that's one thing I wanted to say. When good gear dropped, wow, it feels amazing. You would have to do, especially before you have any magic find, you would do maybe 30 runs, and you would get maybe one good item, and that one good item would not necessarily be good for your sorceress. You're looking for Shaco. No, I'm sorry. What was it Chico? What was the name of the... I can't believe I can't remember. The blue-green hat. Anyways. So you're looking for those really special items to level up. Or to get magic find, and you're looking for items for your other characters. So when that item drops, oh my god, it feels incredible. And I don't think, for Diablo 3, items were just dropping all over the place. Nothing ever felt like, oh, awesome item. It was just like, oh, there's a good item. Let's put that on. In Diablo 2, you had to work for it. And when you got it, it felt amazing. I love that about that game. So then you start building up your magic fight items and your other items. You say, okay, I've got like one solid item to make a an Amazon or a barbarian. So you start leveling that tune. Also, you can go into trade games and trade with other players, and that was awesome. I loved trading, and you had to be careful because people would try to rip you off. People would try to scam you. There was tons of scamming, and I think I might have been 12 at the time. So that taught me at an early age that people aren't always honest, and in this world of Diablo 2, there was a lot of dishonesty and people trying to get an item from you and give you nothing in return. So you had to be vigilant, and it taught me to be vigilant at a young age. So I don't know, looking back at that, I think like, wow, that game taught me a lot about life, the nature of human spirit, the human nature. And I mean, that's kind of sad that people would resort to that kind of stuff, but it's like, it makes it really real. Like, you're out there in this place where you can get scammed, and you have to be careful, and that adds a level of immersion to the game. So eventually you farmed a ton of gear, you start making mules, and you'll put, you know, tons of items on there. Eventually I had, you know, a mule for every type of item, like, you know, swords or like weapons and like armor, and they get full, and I'd make free stuff games. Anyways, so you get to the apex, and that's when you start doing player versus player. Now, player versus player is really, really fun. You actually will die, and people will camp you. They won't let you get to your body. They'll, you know, people play really dirty, and so a lot of times player versus player is like 4 or 5 people all running around Act 1 right outside the gate, and you know, it's really exciting. Something about popping someone, and I feel like popping someone was like when you got a hit on them and it just dropped them in almost like one hit. They were dead. 2 guided arrows, dead. And you'd sometimes get hit by 2 guided arrows and die instantly too, and be like, oh shit. So, and people was trying to do, there was a scam where you could drop a bunch of items on over someone's body. They go to pick up their stuff, and they'd put on the items you dropped. They drop their stuff on the ground when they died, if you killed them again immediately after. So you had to be careful because people will try to do that to you too. That's another thing. So that was pretty fun. And then I think it was 1.9 came along, and oh shit, a whole bunch of hacked items started flooding. White rings and like hex charms and wizard gauntlets, all sorts of these crazy hacked items started flooding in, and the player versus player started changing. Like, you get one white ring, and you know, I had a few. I like to use them for leveling because it just make it so easy. And I mean, they were really expensive. They were hard to get. But that was really, I mean, I really enjoyed the hacked items. I thought it was really fun because, yes, it changed everything in that, like, old items weren't legitimate anymore. They just didn't carry the same worth. But there was a whole new set of items that did, so it was not so bad. And then they patched that, and there were no more hacked items. I'm not sure if there's any anymore in this current day. I think it's like 1.13D. But yeah, those were good times. I guess lastly, I want to talk about like some of my experiences near the end. I started playing hardcore, and most of you that are watching this probably know hardcore. If you die, you lose your character. You lose all of your stuff. Everything. It's just gone. That's it. So you had to be so careful, and that thrill, nothing beats that thrill of of someone joining the game, hostiling you, teleporting towards you, and you've got to hit escape, up, and enter. So you can, I think that was what it was to exit, or maybe it was escape, down, down, enter. But I got it down, and you would just be ready to quit the game immediately because people would try and just jump in and kill you because they were assholes. That's why they did it. I never did that to anyone. I never joined games trying to kill anyone. I did, however, get a level 88 paladin in full gear. I had Enigma hammered in, and he was my MF character, and this is in hardcore, so to get to 88 in hardcore is incredibly difficult, because in hell mode, before you're geared, you can get one-shotted. So I don't even know how I did it. Honestly, I don't know how I did it, but I did it. And I'm not proud of it, but I started botting at that point. But here's the thing, I accumulated a ton of wealth, and I thought to myself, like, wouldn't it be cool to be like gear Santa Claus and not go in and drop like crap items like most people would do. They drop like, oh, here's all my trash that I got, and yeah, it's okay to get some of that trash, but to go in and drop like Storm Shield and Stone Rings of Jordan and like, you know, some of the best items in the game, that would be fucking cool. And so yes, I was botting, but since I had so much wealth and I had no need for it all, I would join games, low level games in Act 1, and I would say, hey guys, you want some free gear? They'd come in, and I would just start dropping like some of the best items in the game, like stuff that was worth, you know, up to like $20 to buy online from websites, especially in hardcore mode. In hardcore mode, things are worth a lot more because it's way harder. So, I mean, that felt really good. I did that for probably a month or 2 months. I would just go in and hook people up, and I made a lot of friends like that, and it felt good. I mean, I encourage you guys to just think about, like, you can be the person trying to scam people, or you can be the person trying to help people, and that feels so much better. Like, what scamming might feel good because you might get something, but like, it hurts your soul. It's not worth it, even in a game. So I guess that's something I wanted to mention. Eventually I logged on, and somehow my paladin had died. Level 88, fully geared, with Enigma, just dead. And that's okay. Because I think at that point I stopped playing. I said, okay, well, at this point I was just giving stuff to people. I wasn't really playing. I had my fill of everything, and yeah, and so that was it for me. And later on, many times over the years, I've re-rolled and I've started playing with some friends or a friend, and have gotten to a high level and playing just over LAN, and it's really fun. It's still a great game. I mean, I still think that Diablo 2 is better than most of these games coming out these days. Maybe I'm biased, maybe it's because I played it like when I was a kid, but I still think it's just so much better than these new hack and slash games. Even Grim Dawn, I loved playing it, but it got to a certain point where I was like, what's the point? What is the point? I'm not motivated anymore. So yeah, those are some of my experiences with Diablo 2. Really great game. No, you know, as you can tell, I loved it. I'm sure a lot of you loved it too. So once again, I want to encourage people to comment in the comments and talk about your experiences, and I'd love to hear them. I want to thank everyone for listening, and I'm just so grateful. Some of my videos have been doing really well, and I didn't know what to expect, and I'm just really pleased. And I guess I love you guys. You guys are great. So yeah. Thanks for listening, and we'll be back next time with a new episode of Let's Talk. Have a good afternoon or evening or whatever. Take care, guys.